The most famous card in the history of pictures on cardboard was the T206 Honus Wagner, so rare that one of them sold for more than $2 million last year. That record was shattered in August of 2025. An autographed basketball card of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant sold for $12.932 million, shattering the all-time record. The most well-known card of the modern era is the 1989 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr., the #1 card in the company's inaugural set. Sales of the Upper Deck #1 are as brisk as always, with buyers snapping up a couple of dozen every day on eBay at prices ranging from $35 raw to $300 in PSA 9. The harder-to-find PSA 10 grade has doubled in price over the past 12 months, from around $2,500 to hitting a high this year in the $5,000 range. The LeBron Kobe card is in a class by itself for reason discussed by many YouTube content creators. The Wagner card and Griffey Jr. Upper Deck have been the bookends of the baseball card collecting phenomenon, are exact opposites. The Wagner is the white whale of the card trade, elusive, highly coveted, and known to drive men to madness. The Griffey is the childhood every collector hunted, and the one card everyone's mother knew they had to save. The one card that should go without saying is the most popular, most widely held baseball card of all time. It is hard to estimate how many of these cards became prized Christmas and birthday presents for young collectors. When Griffey welcomed collectors to the very first Upper Deck set, investment was just about to trump fun in the card world. Kids had started putting their collections in plastic sheets and hard cases rather than bicycle spokes and shoeboxes, and investors would cross-check every card picked from a pack against the latest issue of Beckett's Price Guide. It was in this environment that Upper Deck launched in 1989 as the first premium baseball card, protected from the threat of counterfeiting with a hologram on each card, protected from the stain of the wax pack thanks to its unprecedented foil wrappers. There was no gum included, and packs cost an industry-high $1. Baseball cards were serious business. The Griffey card was the perfect piece of memorabilia at the perfect time. The number the card was given only furthered the prospect of his cardboard IPO. Junior was chosen to be card #1 by an Upper Deck employee named Tom Guideman, a college student known for his keen eye for talent. Guideman earned his rep by consistently cluing in the founders of the Upper Deck, the card shop where the business was hatched, on which players would be future stars. Guideman took the task of naming the player for the first card very seriously. Using an issue of Baseball America as his guide, Guideman knew that card #1 would belong to Greg Jeffries, Sandy Alomar Jr., Gary Sheffield, or a long-shot candidate, the phenom they called the Kid. Despite the fact that Griffey had yet to crack the majors, Guideman had the confidence that the top pick in the 1987 draft would live up to his pedigree. It goes without saying that this was a genius selection. You could imagine how the people at Topps felt when Junior became an instant superstar, and they hadn't even included him in their 792-card set. From the very beginning, card buffs saw the Upper Deck #1 as not just a collectible, but as an investment. Baseball card fans who had once traded away duplicate cards in a quest to compile a complete set started hoarding as many Griffies as they could. Collectors' hands would shake when they saw Griffey's face in their pack, confident that this card would be the key to financing a college education. But the truth was that even though Upper Deck printed fewer cards than its contemporaries, Donruss, Fleer, Topps, and Score, in this case, supply came close to meeting demand. It comes as no surprise that the Griffey card is the most graded piece of cardboard in the history of the hobby. Card grading, if you're unaware, is done by services that slap a card in between plastic and evaluate exactly how pristine it really is. Professional Sports Authenticator has graded 51,800 Griffies, while Beckett has graded about 25,400. PSA's second-place card is the 1985 Topps Mark McGwire Olympic Rookie card with 46,000 grades. Beckett's #2 is the 2001 Upper Deck Tiger Woods card, which has been graded about 21,500 times, a Griffey that was graded a perfect 10 shot up to over $1,000. Then it dropped to as low as $275. But over the past few years, this PSA 10 Griffey Jr. has steady climbed in price over the years, and over the last 12 months has doubled in value, hitting a high of $5,000. By comparison, Donruss and Fleer versions of the Griffey Rookie, from graded to ungraded, usually range in price from $50 to $300. Despite Griffey's illustrious career, some might call it disappointing relative to all the initial hype. It was probably the first card the collectors stored safely and securely in top loaders. More than 1 million Griffey cards were printed. In Upper Deck's original mailing to dealers, the company said it would sell 65,000 cases of card packs. With 20 boxes in a case, 520 cards in a box, and 700 different cards in the set, there would be about 965,000 of each card produced for the boxes. Combine that number with the amount of Griffeys in the untold number of factory sets, and you'd have your production run. Given the number of Griffey cards in circulation, there have long been rumors of an illicit reason for the card's ubiquity. Upper Deck, the legend goes, knew that printing the cards was just like printing money. As such, there was a sheet the company could run with 100 Griffey cards on it, instead of the standard sheet that had just one Griffey in the top corner, along with 99 pictures of other players. If that existed, I never saw it, says Buzz Rasmussen, Upper Deck's plant manager at the time. Rob Veers of Burbank SPORTSCARD, a memorabilia dealership with a warehouse of 30 million cards, says that if Griffeys were produced in greater quantity than other cards, he would have expected to come across larger collections of the card. If there was no funny business, why are the Griffey cards so abundant? The most natural explanation is that more were saved. Figure that about 95% of Frank DiPino's, Henry Cotto's, and Steve Lombardozzi's have hit the garbage can, while a huge percentage of the Griffeys have survived. Some dealers also swore to me that, although Upper Deck claims its packs were sequenced randomly, there was in fact a predictable pattern in the company's boxes that became valuable to learn. Therefore, the unopened Upper Deck packs that remain are less likely to have Griffey cards stashed inside them. There's one more reason for the Griffey profusion. While the card might not have received an extra production run, there was extra attention paid to its condition coming out of packs and factory sets. Because the Griffey was card number 1, it resided in the upper left-hand corner of the printing sheet. It was therefore more susceptible to miscuts and corner bends. Being the first card in the factory set also turned some of the Griffeys blue, the color of the box. Card collectors and dealers who received less than perfect Griffeys would write in to complain to Upper Deck. The nascent company, surely understanding that its products would be seen as investments, couldn't afford any bad PR at that early stage. According to Jay McCracken, then the company's vice president of marketing and sales, the customer service desk was the place to find stacks of new Griffeys. The company was more than happy to exchange the bad card for a pristine one to keep its customers happy. That came in handy a decade later when the value of a Griffey would be determined by the card graders. After all, there's likely a card in circulation for every person living in the city centers of Cincinnati and Seattle. That sheer quantity, though, does mean that the lasting image of Ken Griffey Jr. won't be anything he did on the baseball field, including climbing walls. It will be a picture of an overjoyed teenager in an airbrushed Mariners hat. It is safe to say that if Fanatics does grow the sports cards market 10 times as they have stated is their goal, the demand for this iconic card will continue to grow for many years into the future. We hope you enjoy learning more about the history of the iconic Griffey Jr. card. If you did, please consider subscribing to this channel and checking out more of our card collecting insights and systems. Thanks for watching, and as always, your comments and feedback are appreciated.